Okay, so today what we are going to be doing, we got a few guys here today, D-Dub, Silver Surfer, and we got this little guy right over here. Basically what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be putting a 3.5-inch AEV lift on this Jeep today. We have all of the parts basically all right here, and so that's the mini boxes that we are going to be doing.
Excuse me, sir.
He also does have a track bar brace that we're going to be putting on today as well. So we'll be doing that. And anyway, well, we get the tires off this and get this thing, get the front axle down. We're going to get probably the front axle first and get everything rolling. Okay. Anyway, let's get this thing going and we'll film the whole way through it. So we'll give you lots of detail.
Some stops we want to put on.
So what we have here, we've got all the parts all basically laid out. So this basically is what we've got. We've got our front and rear springs, brake line extensions, new sway bars. I believe those are for the rear. Comes with your track bar, your 4 shocks. These are the nice aluminum body shocks as well. The AEV DualSport suspension. And it's got the front and rear bump stops, and then these are the brackets here that basically relocate the factory control arms. And anyway, so you can see there, so it is the 3.5-inch DualSport that we are putting on this Jeep today. Anyway, that's what we got, and we're gonna get this going here right away. Okay, so basically we have all the tires off now. And as you can see, you just got to make sure that everything, the Jeep is actually sitting high enough, right? You know, so that it's a lot easier, because we've got to really droop these front axles down to get this spring out, and then to get the bigger spring put back in. So you just have to make sure you've got some good jack stands. You know, don't use your jack as you're supporting the Jeep itself. And we're actually going to be starting with the back here first. We're going to get this all ripped apart, and you know, once we do, as you know, step by step, I'll keep you updated and things of that sort. So, but as you can see, we've got everything all ripped apart. We're going to do tire rotation while we're at it here as well. So, well, actually, looks like we're going to start with the front. Anyway, so once we get going here, I'll let you know how we're making out. Okay.
All right, other side.
Okay, so what we've done so far, basically, we do have the rear springs out of here now. So you can see straight across there, we've got our sway bar disconnects done, things of that sort. We've got our brake lines released and whatnot. You just can't forget to do all of that. Also, your emergency brake, you got to make sure that is all disconnected as well. And then we'll be doing the track bar to get this bracket off. We got a brand new bracket that's actually going to go on there for the DualSport. And yeah, so let's keep going on this, and we'll keep you updated. Okay, so this is what we're working with right now. This bracket right here, we do have to get off. We've just put some PB Blaster on those bolts just to get, you know, to get this all apart. It's just a U-bracket or a U-bolt that goes around the axle that holds this in place. And then the new bracket, we'll show you what we have there. It's quite a bit bigger, things of that sort, and this is the new one here. So again, here's all your new U-bolts and whatnot, and you can see it's much larger, and that's what the track bar would actually locate onto here. This kit also comes with a new track bar. Not sure where that went, but anyway, it does come with a new track bar, and it does mount to the factory location up here, and then it'll use a new bracket to go over there. So yeah, everything's going well. No snags as you can see here. We've got that bracket off there now, and just to give you an idea of the comparison between the two, basically, yeah, you can see there. That's quite a big difference. So the AEV does make some really good quality pieces and whatnot. So anyway,
It's the old one, right?
yeah, this is the old AEV. That's the new one. Okay. So basically, all we had to do just give it a couple of love taps to get this new bracket on, and then your stock track bar bolt does go back into. You got basically your hole. Let's see if we can get down in here and show you. We got a hole right there, basically, that the bracket does go through, or the bolt does go through, but just needs a little bit of adjustment. There we go. So we just got to get that nut on the back, get that tightened up, and away we go. Okay, so what we do need to do is, Mike right now, he's just putting basically a spot on top of the factory track bar bracket, and we've got to drill a hole there because there is a bolt that drops down through that as well. So we'll be taking that off. You see right there on that yellow dot, basically that's where we've got to get a hole drilled. Okay, so we're going to get that drilled out, and we'll keep going from there. So you can see here we're getting the hole drilled out, and that's the hole that you need to have drilled. So basically that hole that's right in here, that's the hole there that he's drilling for that, and there's a 5/8 bolt basically that's got to go inside that. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got this bracket in place. There's the bolt here that we put in. We've got to get that tightened. We'll get a wrench on this side here and then get our torque wrench on the top. This is the bracket that holds everything in place here, and then our track bar, because it's a 3.5 inch DualSport. This is the hole here that you use for the 3.5. This would be the hole for the 4.5. So this is the one that we have to hook our track bar into. And then we got to put our U-joints or U-bolts in. We got to get those tightened up. And then basically once we torque everything down, this is all in place, and we're good to go. You do have to use a couple of washers in here. So as you can see, there's a couple of washers there that we do have to use to space that out properly. Once this all gets tightened as well, that'll sit down in there. The bolt hole that's here is an oval. The one that's on this bracket here and behind there, you can't see it, but that's an oval hole. So when this sits down, that'll be fine here. So we tighten this up first, tighten this one up, get our U-bolts tightened up, and then that'll be good. Okay, so we're at the point here where we get this track bar bracket on. And as you can see, we're just at the point now where we got to get these U-bolts. The U-bolts here that we have to do, you want to suck them down equally so that you don't have a longer bolt end on either end. But they have to be torqued at 40 foot-pounds. So nothing more than that in that respect. But anyway, we'll get some stuff going here. You got it at 40 there, Mike? Yep. 50, 40. Yep. There we go. Oh, I think you're at 40. Heard a crack there. So we got basically it's all torqued down. So now we're just going to be putting the springs in. We'll get the track bar, we'll get the upper part of the track bar bolted in, the new track bar, and then we'll have to get the new shocks on and things of that sort, but we'll get going on this. And we'll show you. Okay, so what we have done right now is we do have our shocks in place, your bottom bolts, top bolts as well. We got everything. These are the Bilstein dual. Okay, anyway, and then we've got everything up over there as well. We've got the upper portion of the track bar in place. Once we get the Jeep down on 4 wheels, down on the ground, we'll hook up the track bar bolt for the bottom there. We got the U-bolts all done up. Now what we're going to be doing is the sway bar in the back, that right there. So we'll get that all done and we'll go from there. Okay, well, we are pretty much done the back here now. As you can see, we've got the rear tires on. The only thing that we have left to do for the rear is just get the track bar tightened up. We've got the bolt in the on the passenger side. You can see the bolt there on the ground. That's for the driver's side, and we just got to get that tightened up. Once we get it sitting down on the ground, we'll do that. We still have it sitting on jack stands. We're going to have it sitting on jack stands until we are completely done. And right now, as you can see, Dwayne here is actually lengthening the speed sensors. Yeah, the wheel speed sensor. So that's what he's doing right now. He's just adding in, I think, probably about 8, 9 inches, whatever the case might be. We're going to do that on both sides so that Mike doesn't have any issue with when he extends, because he's got a 3.5, had a 2.5 before, he's got a 3.5 now. He may get as much as about 4 inches on this lift. And anyway, well, once we get started on the front axle here, we'll keep you up to date. So we just did a battery change on everything, so we got everything going here again. So what Mike is doing, he's actually taking the top of the shock mount out, the shock nut off. The nut off the top of the shock. There we go. Yeah, got to put some vice grips on the, basically on the shaft itself, just to hold it from spinning and things of that sort. But once we get, as you can see there, he's got the bottom out. Once we get that, we're going to drop this front spring out of here, and we'll get everything rolling from there. Okay, and what we can see here, you can see Dwayne, he actually got the speed sensor extended. He put in basically this piece here to about somewhere around here. He added that much.
I added 12 inches.
12 inches is what he added to that, so we're probably up and around here somewhere. Anyway, so that's good now, and you can see it's the same length as the brake line essentially, so when Mike flexes and whatnot, we're not going to have any issue with breaking the speed sensor line and throwing codes. Okay, so just had pizza for lunch here. We're going to get back at it here now. And so basically what we're doing now, we have to get the bump stops, the lower bump stops off to get the new springs in place. And this is a little issue we're having. We got to get the, there's a nut on the back side of it. We've got to get that off and whatnot. So we'll get going at this. Dwayne does have, or he did get the other, or I guess he's doing it right now. The other wheel speed sensor, so we added another 12 inches to that, so that'll be well long enough, so we don't have any issues with that. But anyway, nope. Let's keep her going. It's looking good though. There's the old spring there, and here's our new spring. So we'll show you basically the difference. There's your difference there. So you can see you've gained a good inch and a half, maybe even 2 inches on that. This is a 2.5. This is the 3.5 inch. So maybe after settling and things of that sort, you might only pick up. Well, you still may pick up actually 2 inches. Very possible. Well, I guess we'll see. We did measure everything, so we'll find out once we get everything going. Okay, so as you can see, we got our coil in place. We got our bump stop in place there as well. Mike just tightened up his for his sway bar disconnects. So we just did that. We just got to get the coil, or sorry, the spring in, and then and we'll move over to the other side. Okay, so here we are. We actually have now, we've got the new spring in, got the bump stop in, have the new shock in the top all in place. Now we just got to bolt them in down to the bottom and hook up our sway bar disconnects, and we're basically done. Excuse me, and we're done. So yeah, this lift went pretty seamless. I think the hardest part was just getting the bolt for that new bracket, the track bar bracket in the back. But no, it's worked out well so far. So there, guys, there is your 3.5 inch AEV DualSport lift. I think he probably got close to 4 inches, maybe even more. He's got pretty much everything, and this is pretty much loaded the way it's going to sit all the time. Front and rear bumper, winch on the front. He's got the tire carrier in the back, the whole bit. So pretty impressive lift. Pretty impressive lift. It actually looks really good too. Looks really good. Tires are all on. She's sitting on its own weight. That's beautiful. Well, there you go. 3.5 inch DualSport AEV lift. As you can see, it's not a real hard lift to do. It's fairly easy in that respect. It's taken us, well, we took probably an hour out for lunch and farting around and stuff like that. So, I mean, realistically, probably 4.5, 5 hours total. So, yeah, and the only snag I think we ran into, the old bracket we had to get off. We had to heat it, put some PB blaster on it, heat it, drill the new hole for the new bracket. Other than that, everything was seamless. It went together really well. So, you know, if you guys are looking for a good quality lift out there, the AEV DualSport 3.5 inch, I would definitely recommend it. The Jeep set's really good. You know, the test will be when it's out there driving. He had an AEV on there before. It was a 2.5 inch AEV on there before. It drove really well. So I think, again, this one will be just fine. But anyway, if anybody has any comments or questions at all, let me know. I will I'll answer them as quick as I can. And again, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.